this episode of How to Run a Successful Business and Still Have a Life. My name is Stacey Morgan, and today's episode is brought to you by the Simply Business Summit. If you feel like you're spinning your wheels and you've lost sight of your goals, or if you're experiencing constant guilt that you're not giving enough time to any of the aspects of your life, whether it's work or family or friends or yourself, then the Simply Business Summit will step you free of this overwhelm and give you the opportunity to have some physical and mental space, some validation and some expert reassurance that you will need to reignite your passion and grow the business you desire to support that lifestyle that you deserve. The Simply Business Summit is happening June 29 to July 1st, 2022 at the Palm Cove Resort and Spa at the Sea Temple at Palm Cove. You're going to have the most spectacular time if you join us for the Simply Business Summit, and you can pay your deposit and put your name on the list right now. Today's episode is all about celebrating your wins, and it's so much easier to celebrate wins when you are surrounded by like-minded people. And there will be lots of like-minded people at the Simply Business Summit, so we hope you can join us. But like-minded people in your lives, people who understand it, people who get it, people who know what it's like to be running a business, people who know what it's like to be putting in those long hours and to be awake at 4 o'clock in the morning wondering if you're going to, make payroll. Those people are the people that you want on your side and to help you celebrate your wins. So today, talking about firstly the importance of celebrating those wins and of taking the time to do that. And then secondly, who are the best people to share that news with? Because of course you can come home at the end of the day and tell absolutely anybody the news of things going well in your business. But, you want to be surrounded by people who really understand and really get it, really get you. So celebrating your wins is something we don't often do enough in business and in life, really. It seems that we set goals, especially when we're working towards achieving big goals in our business. We set these goals, we figure out what we want, we figure out the action steps to get there. And we've talked about this a lot on the podcast. And then we tick one thing off the list and the next thing off the list, and we start working towards those goals. And quite often we achieve them and we are so busy getting stuck into the next goal that we don't actually take the time to pat ourselves on the back and celebrate the wins. And that's what I want to talk about today, because it is so important to take that pause and to take that moment and to reflect on how far you've come. Because when we are constantly moving forward and always striving for more in our business, it can become really easy to not celebrate the little things that have happened during the week that are really important. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about big things like, winning a business award or, hitting a certain amount of profit at the end of the financial year. I'm talking about all of those little wins that happen along the way in our journey through our own businesses. Those little tiny things that we might see an email come through. We might, check our analytics and see that the numbers have bumped up, and we might go, okay, and then move on to the next. But finding ways to celebrate these wins and making sure that you do spend the time acknowledging yourself and the hard work that you've put in are really surefire ways to make sure that you firstly don't head towards that burnout and that resentment of your business and how hard you're working. But secondly, it's really good in terms of your own mental health to be able to reflect and to be able to look back and take that moment and congratulate yourself for coming as far as you have. Because often, we don't look at what we're doing and how far we've come enough. And in our businesses, things change so often and things move so often that until something really big happens, we often don't kind of turn around and go, oh, okay. This year, we were lucky enough to win the Excellence in Small Business Award at our Regional Business Awards. And I got really, really emotional because this is an award we've really strived for a number of years. We've been entering it for 9 years now, and we've never even cracked it at a local level. And so when we cracked it at a regional level, I had this moment, and I was lucky to be surrounded by people who were celebrating us at the time. But it was the next day that I really got emotional and was really reflecting on how far we've come and what all the little things along the way, all came together to put us in a position where, we could be deemed excellent in what we do in terms of our small business. And it made me think, yes, it was great to celebrate this big win, but gosh, there have been so many things along the way. There are so many things I do differently now compared to what I did in the early days that have really put us in this position. And I kind of had a bit of a moment where I was thinking, I really wish that along the way I could have seen those moments for what they were, those milestones that I guess didn't seem like big things at the time. But, when I set some boundaries and ticked off a few people, when I, we jumped over a mark in terms of our Facebook or our Instagram engagement, those little moments all contribute to what we do in business, but I don't think we take the time to celebrate them enough. So I encourage you this week and next week and forevermore to be looking at those little moments, and you're really giving yourself the chance to be acknowledged, whether that's being acknowledged, by yourself, by your family, by your friends, by your business besties, by your team, by people around you. Or if you can and you feel okay with it, spending some time making those moments known with your community, with your clients, with your customers, with the people who are rooting for you, those people that are buying from you and supporting you. Because taking those moments and celebrating those little wins are going to do so much, not just for you and for yourself and lifting yourself up. And as I said, trying to avoid, hurling towards that burnout that we don't want to be hurling towards because we resent working so hard in our business. Not only will it be good for you, it'll also be good for the people around you. And when we are celebrating those little moments with the people around us, they feel validated in their decision to be, a supporter of yours, to be a customer of yours, to be supporting you and giving you their money. It makes them feel good too. So when you get that email from that customer that comes in that, has a glowing review and says, someone on your team really made them feel special. If they're happy to share it and you're happy to share it, share that with the team, share it with your customers, share it with your community, share it with people who don't know anything about you so they can get a really good understanding of what you're doing. Jump into your analytics, have a look at where you were this time last year in terms of your engagement, in terms of your following on social media. Has it bumped? Is it different? Has it changed? And if it has, take a moment to really pat yourself on the back and congratulate yourself, because that is a really, really big deal. And when it comes to spending quality time with the people around you who really get you and really understand you, if you don't have people currently who are in your circle, people who are around you who you could feel comfortable sharing these little wins with, then I encourage you to jump out there, put yourself out there and build yourself a community of people who will support you. You may have business besties, and I'm lucky to have a few, those people who you can pick up the phone and you can call and you can say, I just had this customer that said this, or I just had this shipment not arrive, or this, this thing go wrong. It's important to have those people around you. But if you don't have those people, then it's important to curate those people around you. And I'm so lucky to be in two beautiful curated groups of people who we get together for a lunch once a month. And we're all in business and we're all in very different businesses, but we all live locally. And being able to come together during that time, and we often start those meetings by going around the table and talking about our wins, just being able to share that information with people who get it, being able to put your hand up and say, this is what I've done this month and I feel really good about it, is so worthwhile and so valuable. And I really don't think that I understood the value in that until I started being part of these groups. And I was lucky to be asked to be part of one and included with an incredible group of people. But the other, I made with a friend of mine. We just saw a need for ourselves to be able to be surrounded by people who got it and who understood us. And so we literally made a list. We just had lunch one day and made a list of all the cool people that we would like to be associated with, the people that we would like to know more about, the people who we think are doing really cool things in our community, and that we want to be closer to those people. So, they talk about, you are the sum of the people that you spend the most time with. Who are the people we want to spend time with? That's what this list was. And then we just went through the list and we asked the people at the top of the list if they'd like to have lunch with us once a month. And then, some people said yes, some people said no. We made our way through the list. And now there's a group of 8 of us and we meet every month. And my friend and I had a really cool moment kind of a couple of months into this process where we called each other after one of our lunch meetings and we were like, this is so cool. Like, can you believe we've done this? Because we're forming some really beautiful friendships, some really beautiful connections. And most importantly, we have learned more about these people in our community, and we have the opportunity to celebrate them and the great stuff that they're doing. So I encourage you, spend some time celebrating your wins in the next week or two. even if they seem little, even if they seem insignificant. If you've got no one to share it with, then I totally encourage you to reach out to me. I would love to hear about what's going on in your world, no matter how big or small. It's really important that you do find people who are rooting for you. Find those people who are your cheerleaders and share this information with them. Not that you can't share it with the people around you, the people that you come home to. But I find often my 3 kids don't care less. When I came home from the Regional Business Awards, they're like, oh, how'd you go? Oh, yeah, Mummy won this award. Oh, okay, what's for breakfast? Like straight on to the next. So really do find a way to celebrate yourself and find people around you who will also celebrate you and lift you up. I think it's so incredibly important. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by the Simply Business Summit. Oh, I cannot wait to get away with business besties and people, like-minded people. Of course, it'll be time to refill your cup, to work on your business, to get guidance from experts who have walked the path before you, and also get reassurance that you're on the right track. If you want to surround yourself with incredible people, then join us at the Sea Temple Resort and Spa from June 29th to July 1st. Next year, 2022, you can jump on board right now. You can do that at simplystacymorgan.com. Alrighty, today's episode, celebrating those wins. So important. If you're not doing enough, please make sure that you are. If you have enjoyed this episode and if you want to do a bit more of this, then make sure you take a screenshot of the episode on your phone. Do it right now. Grab your phone, pick it up, take a screenshot and throw it on your Instagram story and tag me. I'm at Simply Stacey Morgan. If you haven't left us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, please do. And you can always subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts as well, or you can follow us on Spotify. When all parts of your business are healthy and working together, they really fuel off each other to give you a profitable, sustainable business that is going to continue growing. If you're not sure how healthy your business is, you can take our free survey by clicking on Learn with Stacey at Simply Stacey Morgan. And thank you so much for joining us for this episode, and we'll talk to you next week.